to get all cleaned up and put away.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Let me make sure my mic is on. I think we're good. Well, hello. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. My name is Caleb, and I'm one of the advocates here at Galt Advocacy. Every Friday, we go live. We talk about all things disability and special needs related. Usually, we come at you with stuff in regards to things like IHSS and regional center, IEP support, all that stuff. Today, we're actually shifting gears a little bit, and we're going to be talking about support for senior care. So if you've got an elderly parent or a grandparent or a family member in your home who is above the age of 65, then we might be able to provide you with some support today with websites, resources, and things that you can utilize when it comes to caring for this person or finding support for them, right? So like always, welcome. It is a live stream, so you're welcome to use the comment section and connect with each other, connect with me. I'd love to try and address any questions that you have. You can ask questions about anything going on. It doesn't have to be about today's topic. And if you're not watching live, that's okay. You're still welcome to comment or respond to other comments as well. We always try and go back and review them as much as we can. All right, so we'll give it a moment for people to find our stream and log on before I kind of jump into some of the information that we're going to talk about today. And like always, let me know if you can hear me okay, see me okay. We don't want any cuts or anything like that. All right, so again, today's topic is going to be about websites and resources specifically for senior care. So this one can be really tricky, as anything can be when it comes for caring for somebody. However, with seniors, there's definitely a lot that we can uncover and talk about. And so I have an extremely large outline of information. And so I'm probably not going to be able to get through all of it today, but I'm going to do my best. All right. And so I think we've had a little influx of people coming in and out. So if you are here, please feel free to share the stream, tag somebody, tag a support group. Let's try and bring more people in so that we can answer questions and try and reach more people. That's always really helpful for us to get more information out there, as well as to help those just like you who are looking for this information. But if you're here every single week, then you already know the drill. Thank you so much for doing that. So we'll go ahead and jump into our topic. So we'll start with some websites. I would say we have kind of a variety of different things. However, a lot of these are going to be specifically around finding care for your elderly or your senior loved one. And so some of these websites, we can kind of pin like an outline of links to these websites if you all would like. But if you wanted to take some time, just write them down yourselves, that's perfectly fine. Excuse me. Okay, so this website, I guess the name is specific to moms. However, I think it is really for anybody of any choosing. But it is called A Place for Mom. So the website is www.aplaceformom.com. And so this particular website is a free service that can connect you with families and advisors who can do extensive research for you on like a facility database. So if you're trying to find a home for grandma or your parent, because you don't have the capacities right now to care for them in your own home. For one, there's no shame in that, by the way. If you're unable to do that at this time, that's what facilities are for, and that's why we have these resources. And so I know firsthand how hard and difficult it can be caring for a loved one, especially a parent. My mother did that for my grandmother for years, and she lived to be about 104. She was 104 years old when she passed away, unfortunately. But she lived a long, great life. And I want to say from age like 85 to 95, maybe, she was living in the home with my family where my mom was caring for her. And it was a ton of work. Like it was an extreme amount of work. And no knock on her, great woman, amazing family member, but she had a lot of challenges. She had a lot of difficulties. And so if you don't have the capacity for it, hopefully you can utilize these websites and utilize, maybe out-of-home placement to help that person, that individual live a really wonderful life, even as they age, towards the end. So, excuse me. All right. So a place for mom. This one is great, again, specifically for locating like a facility database to get all the ins and outs of maybe what facility might be best for that parent or that loved one. I know that can be a really scary thing once you place somebody into a home. Or if, a nursing facility of some sort, we all hear the horror stories about what goes on, and, former employees coming out and sharing some weird stuff. And we want to avoid any of those things. And so by doing some really good research and learning about what that particular facility might have to offer, that can go a long ways. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions on that. And thank you, Teresa, for posting that in the comments. Teresa, if you're able to do that for all of these, amazing. So placeformom.com. All right, we have a good chunk of people. Feel free to say hi. Let me know how your day is going. How's your Friday? Are you ready for this weekend and this warm weather here in California? At least it's warm up in the Bay Area, Sacramento Bay Area. I know it's going to be hot today. I think it's going to be like 90-ish something. If anybody's got plans this weekend, let us know what you got going on. All right. So the next website we're going to look at, actually, Daisy has a question. Daisy, you said, my question wasn't answered about the reappeal letter we received. Daisy, is this Daisy as in like my client Daisy? Let me know. Sorry, your last name is different. We can connect privately, Daisy, if we're working on your reappeal. Let me see here. Estella, happy Friday to you. Thanks for being here as always. Kathina, what about transitioning adult/child that you're not sure who or where they can go after you pass away? When as a parent, should you ideally plan for this, and how do you figure out the cost to help plan their future? This is a really, really important topic. Absolutely. So we've talked a little bit about this in previous lives. We've even had one of my favorite people, Ellen Cookman, who is an attorney, an estate planning attorney for Cookman Law. She's located here, kind of in the Bay Area, but to my understanding, she can help, remotely as well. So, Kathina, to answer your question, there's no time too early to plan for what you just described. So it is a part of kind of this dark cloud, this dark corner that we don't talk about enough in the special needs world or the disability world. It is absolutely kind of a scary thought to know what in the world would happen, God forbid, if something happened to me and my child with special needs, my young adult with special needs is kind of left to fend for themselves, right? So here in California, I'm going to try and address this as quickly as I can with some bullet points for you. So regional center is number one. So one of the primary things as to why regional center even exists is because of that long-term plan. So if something were to happen to this person, if they're a client of the regional center, then regional center kind of takes over for them and can find a placement for them, a home or a group home, a facility, whatever they might need, depending on their level of care. And so right now, if they're a client of Regional Center, technically Regional Center already has like a backup plan in place in the event that were to happen. And so you can help them design that plan, because if you don't, then they will for you. And they probably already have, in a sense. They already have like things lined up to be prepared if that were to happen. And so the best way you can do that, I would recommend, is contacting an estate planning attorney. We can link Ellen Cookman's information here. Teresa, if you want to do that for me, that would be great. You don't have to utilize Ellen Cookman. She's one of many different estate planning attorneys, but that is who you'd be looking for. You'd be looking for an estate planning attorney or a family lawyer who kind of specializes in that long-term planning. I would also recommend utilizing things like life insurance, connecting with a life insurance firm or a financial firm who specializes in all those things combined. And so when you reach out to those kind of two groups of individuals, they can actually work together. So an estate planning attorney, they can help you create like the umbrella that is used to protect the individual. And then working with a financial advisor and things on the life insurance side, they can help make sure that those umbrellas are funded for that person. You can also do things like connect with a local realtor here in California, or a home loan officer, and you can even purchase a home in that person's name. And that could be the quote unquote facility that Regional Center uses in the event that something were to happen. That way they never have to leave their home, right? So there's lots of cool stuff like that. Kathina, it's a great question. If you want to learn more, feel free to connect with me. Feel free to connect with Ellen Cookman. Feel free to research a financial advisory firm. If you need some resources there, we can definitely point you in the right direction. Oh, and Regional Center. ask Regional Center about this exact question, and they should be able to give you some great advice as well. Daisy, so let me get back to you, Daisy. We'll connect privately. I emailed John, by the way, already, and so he should be getting back to you shortly. Hello, Adriana. Welcome. Happy Friday. Thank you, Teresa. CookmanLaw.com. That is for Ellen Cookman, an estate planning attorney. All right. Yes, Daisy. We'll connect, okay? All right. So let's go back to my list here. Okay. Another website that we can look at next is caring.com. So caring.com, it's a website used to reviews like cost comparisons and things like that when you're trying to find assisted living homes. So if you have Medi-Cal, we'll talk about another website here that can help cater to you so you can utilize and leverage Medi-Cal to kind of fund the out-of-home costs. But a lot of people don't have that luxury, and so they'll have to, and luxury in a sense, but it can get really expensive finding a home, right? And a lot of times Medi-Cal, Medicare, Medicaid, they won't cover maybe enough of it or the type of facility or home that you're looking for. And so by caring.com, hopefully that can kind of compare different facility cost prices for you. It can also give you like a senior living directory to know exactly which ones are in your zip code. That way you're not doing like a search nationwide. So it's a great tool that you can use locally. Another thing it offers too is information on transportation. So if you're looking for help with taxi services, bus riding services, shuttle services for your senior loved one, they can give this website can give you information on that as well. And Teresa will drop a comment with that website for you to copy and paste if you want. Assuming you will, Teresa. Thank you, Daisy, and happy Friday to you. Thanks for being here. All right, another fun one. I like the name of this one. It's called Seniorly. So it's seniorly.com. So seniorly.com is a California-based platform where it has information in regards to local advisors. So this is a great like filtering process to help filter your lifestyle preferences and that person's care specific needs to their care. So everybody's a little different, right? Not one facility fits all, not one caregiver fits all for this one person's needs, right? And so having some type of advisory support there can be really helpful when narrowing down the best placement or the best environment for this senior loved one. So this one is called seniorly.com. And so for the previous website, Teresa dropped a comment. I'll pin it here for you all to see, caring.com. That's the one where you can compare cost comparisons and database comparisons in regards to facilities and stuff like that. And then for this next one, it is the seniorly.com, which is the specifically California-based platform. So again, I am going to be primarily talking to families here in California because every state is a little different when it comes to their services. They also offer virtual tours and cost breakdowns. So that's something else that seniorly.com can offer. Excuse me. So I know for another grandparent of mine, unfortunately, they had to look. My parents had to look at facilities down in like Merced and Modesto, which are hours and hours away. And so utilizing, kind of a virtual tour can actually be really helpful. That way, you're not making multiple trips down there if you don't have to, right? So something cool. All right, Miss Alyssa, happy Friday to you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let me know if anybody has any more questions too. It can be in regards to IHSS. We're going to talk about IHSS today as well. I'll kind of reserve that at the end. But anybody have questions in regards to Regional Center, IHSS, or your loved one who might be a senior already? Happy to provide advice if I can. If not, we'll keep chipping away at our websites here. Okay, so another website. This is an actual agency, National Institute of Aging. So that's the nia.nih.gov. And so this is another big resource that provides reliable research-backed health information on aging And it also will include topics like memory, cognitive health, chronic disease, and tips on caregiving and things like that. So this is a great website, the National Institute on Aging, for just general information and kind of like all around information on what you should know and places you should go website wise. It'll have its own directory too of information on maybe what you can look for specifically for things like cognitive health, memory health, or a chronic disease that they might have, or again, the caregiving topic, right? They also offer guidance for caregivers specifically. So this will be helpful information for you to know maybe how you can provide support for this individual. If you've never cared for somebody before and now you have this family member or this loved one that's about to come into your home, or you travel to them and there's a lot to happen there, right? There's a lot that's going to happen. And so it's great to be mentally prepared for that as well as, physically prepared, the tools you might need, actual physical tools, right? Let me see here. This website also features clinical trial listings for people who want to participate in research-related aging, Alzheimer's, or other age-related conditions. So that's really cool too. So if, a lot of these conditions are very kind of up in the air with how, I'd say a lot of the medical world can explain a lot of it, but there's a lot that can't be explained. And so there's a lot of trials that continue to go on. And so for clinical trial listings, for people who want to participate in that type of research, you can find information on that here on this website as well, for the National Institute on Aging. Alyssa, you said just like Go Advocacy, I find many Facebook resources that are very valuable, especially, I think you said just like Go Advocacy. I find many Facebook resources that are very valuable, especially when you live in a small rural community like I do. I see. Yeah. I mean, I love being able to connect here on Facebook, and I don't mean like me talking every single week. Obviously, I love that too. But the amount of resources and support that everybody has here on Facebook and these platforms, these websites, it's really, really awesome. And so I'm glad, Alyssa, that you have kind of an outlet and a variety of different ways you can connect and learn, despite being in a small community, right? That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. You said rural communities. Yeah, that can be tough for sure. But I'm glad you're getting the resources you need. All right, another website we're going to look at. Oh, for those who didn't get Seniorly, here's seniorly.com. Uh-oh. I think my computer might have died. Hold, please. All right, not sure what happened there, but we'll try and get my computer back up and running. Let me see here. So I'm going to have to use my phone here for the rest of this information, I think. We're going to try and get this laptop back up. Might need a moment. And unfortunately, it's not showing me comments. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Thank you, Teresa. Teresa also commented the NIA website, the NIA website, National Institute of Aging. And for some reason, it's not allowing me to pin a comment. So I'm just going to have to read the comments for now. We have a comment from Andrew. My family appreciates all your help and guidance last week in our assessment. Hopefully we get approved. Yes, Andrew, I hope so too. And I'm sorry I haven't responded to your text yet. I've been meaning to get back to you, but thank you for the kind words. And it is an honor to work with you. I'm glad that we got through on that assessment. Jessica, happy Friday to you. What is the topic? Topic today is about elderly care. And so if I can get my laptop up and running again, I'll be able to utilize my outline. All right, we got movement. I'm just waiting on it to charge. There we go. Okay, I think we're almost back up. All right. Daisy, will you continue to support us for life after a PS is approved and we warn by charged again if they try to take it away? So with every client, we have different types of level of service that we work with. And so, yes, we do have some options where you can be a client forever, right? And so, Daisy, if you want to talk a little bit more specifically about what we can do for you, let us know. All right, sorry guys, I gotta get back in here. All right, I think I did it. Okay, here's that website, by the way. Let me go ahead and transition over here. My goodness, sorry about that, everybody. Technical difficulties. I don't think we lost too many people, so glad you're still sticking around here. I'm not in a rush today, so I can actually hang out and talk as long as we need to. All right, Estella, what's the autism registry I hear about? Not going to happen, is it? Autism registry. I'm not too sure what you're referring to. Okay, so yes, to Jessica, this is our topic today, the websites and resources for senior care. I have it tabbed there. Thanks for being here, Jessica. All right, so let's go back to my outline. That is so frustrating. I think I need a new battery. My laptop was only, it was at full charge. It was only unplugged for like 20 minutes. Okay, next one is gonna be agingcare.com. Okay. So if you're still here, thank you very much. Agingcare.com. This is it focuses on in-home care and caregiving tips. So I know that the last one that we talked about, the National Institute of Aging, provides that information as well. But this one's going to be specifically more so for how to care for this loved one when they're still in your own home. So again, that is a big task. It's a big job, and it's really important to know how to do that and manage it appropriately, right? So getting prepared and having all the tools you can on being the best caregiver you possibly can be for that loved one. I think this is a great website for that. There's also an active community forum in there for family caregivers. So not only will you be receiving tips and information from professionals, you also will get actual tips and advice from caregivers themselves, people who have been doing it a long time. So a great little forum community, kind of like Facebook here. If you go to a support group, you'll get that information as well, right? All right. It's also useful for those that are not ready to move into the facility, right? So I'm guessing it might also have some information in there that can help with that, prevention of transferring them from home to facility. And so I think that big goal there for this website is to help you with keeping them in the home. And another great resource for that is going to be something like IHSS, which we could talk more about. If you don't know, IHSS is a caregiving benefit here in California that pays you to be the caregiver. So not only do you get to keep grandma or keep, your auntie or uncle or this loved one into your home, you can get paid for it as a caregiver, just like a nursing facility would get paid to care for them, right? So IHSS is a great program, and we could talk more about that too if you'd like. Okay, thank you, Teresa, for pinning that website there. And let us know if you've used any of these websites before. So these are things that are relatively new to me. I haven't had to utilize these much in the past, but it's been cool doing a little bit of research on these and seeing how helpful they can be. And so I'm curious to know if anybody here in the comments or the viewers who are watching, if you've used any of these resources or websites in your own life. And if not, hopefully this information is helpful today so that you can get some additional support. All right, next one. If we don't have any more questions on that, next one is going to be CalCareNet. So that's calqualitycare.org. So calcare.net is another California state-sponsored tool for comparing nursing homes and assisted living and hospice providers. So I think a very important thing here, which we talked about, is knowing the spot that this loved one's going to be in if they're going to be placed in a facility or a nursing home, right? So I am really thrilled to know that there's actual websites out there that can help you compare these places so that you can kind of have some peace of mind, excuse me, before they enter into that facility. And also hospice. So again, if it's the opposite and you have hospice workers coming into your home, there's different hospice. There's a variety of different like ways hospice providers are utilized, and so it would be really important to kind of understand that breakdown and that process, and so you can utilize this website as a tool for that. All right, we're going to take a quick moment. This is from Miss Nora. Nora, thank you so much for being here today and sharing this. She says, "Hi, Caleb. Please express to Myra and the Galt staff for the beautiful flowers in honor of Genevieve's passing. Our family is honored to be a part of the Galt family." I've worked with Miss Nora for a long time, and Miss Nora, I'm sorry we haven't been able to connect much these past couple of years now, I think. But we want to give you our condolences. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to your family for your loss. And I'm just so glad that you're here today and sharing the love with the other people here in the comment section. Oh my gosh, sorry, I got something in my eye. Okay, but thank you, Nora. And of course, I think it's the least that we can do, and definitely no recognition needed there, but we're happy to be a part of your family as well. Thanks for being here. Okay, so I think Teresa Estella looks like it's not happening as far as I can tell. Maybe it's just a political noise. Oh, this is in regards to the autism registry, right? So what is that? I'm not familiar with what that is. Maybe I'm out of the loop. Sorry, everybody. Okay. So this is a really cool website, this next one that we're going to talk about. And this is going to be Elder Care Locator. So it is a really cool locator tool that actually connects you to a bunch of different resources in general. So it can be for actual like care facilities. It can be for insurances. It can be for what's the word I'm using? Like an online directory for a lot of different things. But most importantly, it's used to help finding a specific facility or a specific group home or nursing home for that person. And so it's a really great, easy to use tool specifically for that. And so I'll read some of the bullet points here. So Elder Care Locator links individuals to local area agencies and agings, AAAs, aging and disability resource centers like ADRCs, and other things as well. It also has information on transportation. So if you need help with transportation, this is also another great website that can give you information on how that works. And they can provide a personalized assistance. So training information specialists that are available to answer questions and help find trustworthy local support resources. They can be reached via phone, text, online chat, or email. That is awesome. So you can have kind of like your own go-to person specifically to help you with that. And so I think that's such a cool website. And here's the website for the previous one that we were talking about. So take a moment to copy and paste Teresa's comment there. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Estella. Glad you're here. Another point that this particular website, the eldercare.act.gov, the Elder Care Locator, is it actually also has information on key issues affecting older adults. So these are things that can help you kind of understand and how to be prepared on some of the challenges that can come from an adult's, physical strength that might deteriorate or their cognitive health. And so getting more information on that can be really helpful. I don't think anyone expects you to become a doctor or an expert in those things, but I know it can be extra challenging if you're not prepared on some of the basics and the ins and outs of, what to expect if somebody has Alzheimer's or a physical disability as they're getting older, and to kind of understand their needs in their own unique ways. So I'd say take a look at that website. It seems like it's got some great information. It also has information on raising awareness of financial scams. So that is something that is big, right? Financial scams can be a variety of different things. Their point here is through campaigns like Home for the Holidays, the Elder Care Locator educates the public on common scams for getting older adults and provides tips on how to avoid them. So I'm really curious to learn a little bit more about that. Thank you, Teresa, for putting this link in the comment section as well. Again, copy, paste that, write that down. All right. So there was another website. Teresa, if you want to comment, a couple of the websites I didn't get the chance to sneak into the outline today. One was a Medicare, Medicaid website. So if we can link that for the viewers, that would be awesome. And so now we'll transition while Teresa's doing that. And since I don't see any more questions, we'll transition into some California specific things, right? So California Department of Aging, this has resources for Medi-Cal and IHSS. So the CDSS website basically and aging.ca.gov. So this is information that I think everybody should have when you live here in California. Thank you, Teresa. This is it right here. This has information in regards to Medi-Cal and services like IHSS, which is, again, a life-changing benefit for people who get paid to be the caregiver for their loved one. And it's not just for senior care. Actually, we talk about it almost every week. And it is going to be for anybody here in California who has Medi-Cal, who has a disability, a cognitive delay, physical condition, where they need help in the home. And so this is specifically for that. It is not for people who are looking for out-of-home placement or anything like that. It is going to be specifically for those in the home. That's IHSS. In-home support services. So you'd be paid as the caregiver to do all of the caregiving duties. And so for a senior loved one, that's way easier to get approved for than it would be for a young child, like we talk about a lot of the times. I know a lot of you are parents, especially of children with special needs, right? And so it can be really difficult to kind of navigate that. But for somebody who is 65 or older, it's not much of a question. If they have a disability, if they have a cognitive limitation, and it affects their day-to-day life, then IHSS is something that usually isn't too much of a challenge to get approved for. It depends on the county, depends on the social workers. But if their needs are really clear, if they've got a clear formal diagnosis from the doctor of whatever condition that they have, and you don't want them living out of home, you want to be able to support them in your own home or in their own home, then IHSS might be a great tool. So you can check out this website here, Medicare.gov, which will also give you other things as well. It'll give you information in regards to all the stuff that we talked about. So different like capacities and environments for elder care, senior care. So in-home, out-of-home, facilities, nursing homes, kind of all of that stuff. And Medicare, again, if that person has Medicaid, Medicare, Medi-Cal, those providers can also help fund those facilities, right? So now, again, we can't promise that you won't be paying anything, but there are a lot of facilities and nursing homes out there that do get funded through that provider, that insurance. So something to consider and take a look at. Okay, so another bullet point here for specific to California is going to be long-term care. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Ombudsman program. So this program specifically advocates for seniors in assisted living or skilled nursing facilities. So this one was really interesting. And I would recommend looking it up if you yourself are caring for a loved one with who is a senior. So I'm trying to find a quick detailed outline of how to express. Okay. So the Ombudsman program works to resolve related to health, safety, welfare, and rights of the individuals who live in facilities. So such as nursing homes, board care facilities, and all that stuff. So much like a lot of you who watch us and connect with us, we're an advocacy group for you, for families who care for people with disabilities and special needs. Sometimes you don't need somebody like us, but you might need an advocate to help you with making sure that a facility is doing the right things and that the facility is providing the things that they're supposed to be providing. And so if you have a loved one in a facility and you feel like they're not getting the type of support that they should, like you were expecting they would in this particular facility, you did your research, you did your homework, you know that they're supposed to be doing XYZ, but they're not, then this might be a great resource for you. Okay, I don't see it up yet, Teresa, so I'll wait for you to do that. I'll move on. I think I have a few more points. Oh, another really cool one that I found is there's an actual like hotline for senior support. So if you're looking for referrals and local like social supports for your loved one who's a senior, you can actually dial 211. So we always talk about like what's the 411 and all that stuff. There's an actual 211 number you can call, and that is specifically for getting advice, counsel, support, and referrals for caregiving and things like that for your senior loved one. So that number is 211, California. And I mentioned this one earlier, the Area Agencies of Aging, AAA. It's regional offices for local resources. So it's similar to that of like Disability Rights of California, if you have a kiddo with autism and you need that support. So the AAA is a great resource to help find local offices in your area if you need in-person like trainings and support and information on how to care for this loved one who is in your home now, or you're going to their home. All right. Thank you, Teresa. There's another website. Oh, perfect. So this one is specifically for the long-term care ombudsman. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know why it's such a hard word for me to say, but yeah, check that out, and hopefully that can be helpful. All right, we're getting close to being wrapped up. If you guys have questions, I'm going to kind of leave this open for Q&A here for another few minutes. I'm not in a rush. So feel free to share this live, tag a friend, tag a support group, make a comment in the comment section that I can maybe address. I think this is a really, really interesting topic today in regards to finding support that you might need for your senior loved one. I know I personally am going to read through and use these things to support, my future potentially. I have parents, I have lots of family members who are getting a little older, and you never know, right? I want to be prepared for anything. And I'm curious to see how it's going to change too, as, I age, right? And transition. I mean, I know that's quite a ways away, but it'll be interesting how these things evolve and change over time. But based on the support that we have right now, it's going to be great to have information now, websites and resources, referrals, the phone number like 211 to get that information that you might need that can be really helpful. Let me know if you've found this information to be helpful so far, or again, if I haven't heard of anybody utilizing any of these websites yet. I asked earlier if you have, so let me know if you've used these before or if they're brand new to you. Very, very curious. Teresa, you dropped another comment. Okay, this is for providers and partners, area agencies on aging. So if you haven't been writing these down, Teresa's been pinning these in the comment section throughout the duration of this stream today. So if you go back, copy and paste these, save these to your phone, laptop, tablet, iPad, or notebook, you can go back and refer to these. Estella, thank you. I appreciate you being here. And of course, most importantly, if a out-of-home facility is not something that's an option right now, that's okay. That's okay too. Again, there are really awesome things you can utilize, like IHSS. There's also things like Meals on Wheels that can help deliver meals and food to you. I know we didn't really get a chance to talk about that. Seniors can also still get things like food stamps and another variety of benefits and resources to help keep them in their own home and help them thrive in their own home and love it, right? So lots of cool stuff here. Oh, Teresa also says, or if you have a site we didn't mention, please share it. Yes. So if you have a website that you've utilized and it's been great, it's been a great tool for you. I know, I think it was Alyssa. Alyssa had mentioned, Facebook and these resources have been great tools for her because she lives in a rural area and she doesn't have a lot of people she can connect with on this stuff. And so, besides Facebook and, support groups, are there any specific websites that anybody has used that you'd like to share? Maybe we can write them down and save them in our own little list of resources, and we can share that with families who might need that information as well. I'm going to go back to see if I missed anybody's questions. Once again, take a moment to like, subscribe, share, tag friends, tag support groups, whatever you can, enough to get this information out. We only have a couple more minutes probably, so we probably won't be getting too many comments. But if you do have a comment, now's your chance. I'm going to try and answer as many as I can before I head out of here. All right, I'm going to go back to the top, see if I missed anything. I think I got most of the questions. If not, I'll just go back and highlight all of the links in the websites. Let me do that again here. So I'm going to go back to the top. One of the first websites we talked about was A Place for Mom, right? So again, a website that's an awesome tool to help find a facility or a home for your loved one. And next one is going to be Cookman Law. So Cookman Law is specifically for those who are looking for that long-term planning, the estate planning conversation like Kathina had earlier. Kathina was asking about transitioning from childhood to adulthood. Same conversation from adulthood to seniorhood. It's really good to have an estate planning attorney or a kind of a team of people that can help you financially and God, what's the word that I'm looking for? I guess transitionally when they are going to need more support too. God forbid something were to happen. But yeah, I would highly recommend contacting somebody like Ellen Cookman or another estate planning attorney, financial advisory firm, anybody in that nature. That would be a big tip there. Caring.com. Again, Caring.com is a website to help you find providers and other facilities as well. So make sure you write that one down. Seniorly, that just has a funny name. I'm just kidding. No, that one's also another great one for this one was also for resources and facilities, I believe. Let me verify that. Oh, this one's also specific to California, so don't forget that, okay? It's great for filtering lifestyle preferences that would kind of help determine what type of facility would be best. And then the National Institute of Aging, probably one of the biggest websites here in regards to like research on disabilities, cognitive delays, and things like that, so that you can kind of understand and navigate that world of your loved one's disability. If it's Alzheimer's, dementia, something along that lines, getting as much information and research as you can to know how to care for them is going to be really, really big. It also gives you kind of the latest updates on research that's going on now and in the future. It also allows you to participate in clinical trials if you ever wanted to. The next one we talked about was Aging Care. So Aging Care also is more focused on in-home care and caregiving tips. So if you yourself are a caregiver and you want just tips on that, we're not placing mom, dad, or grandpa and grandma in a home right now. You just want tips on being their best provider possible. This would be a great website to do that. Next one is calqualitycare.org. So CalCareNet, California state-sponsored tool for comparing nursing homes and assisted living. So once again, another tool you can use to compare the out-of-home placement that that person might need. And then ElderCare. eldercare.act.gov. This is an elder care locator. So it's a tool that you can use that links you to individuals and agencies that specifically help with exactly this conversation, what to do, the steps you need to take. It also provides a personal assistant to help you kind of navigate that. So you're not just kind of free flowing through their website trying to figure it out. You can actually talk to somebody who can specifically find support for you in that specifically to that loved one. And they also have online directory for more resources and things if you need that. And then aging.gov, I think that's the same one. Oh, and then Medicare. So again, if you need information on Medicare, Medicaid, everybody above 65 is going to have something like that. So make sure you check all that out. Okay. Teresa dropped a comment, meal delivery for seniors. So this is the medicalnewstoday.com articles, meal delivery for seniors. Okay. So yeah, if you have a senior loved one and you want meals to be delivered or you want help with that, this would be a great resource as well. Thank you, Teresa. And don't forget Galt Advocacy for your elder with Medi-Cal who needs IHSS support. Thank you, Teresa. Big reminder there. So yes, if you want help looking at what's possible in regards to benefits into the home so that you can be the paid caregiver for your loved one, let us know. Okay. We'd be happy to help. I can talk about IHSS all day long. That is going to be probably my favorite topic that I specialize in. And so if you want more information on that, you know what to do. Call us, get on my calendar, reach out to us here on Facebook, send us an email. You can even go back and watch all of our live streams for the past 4.5, almost 5 years. Oh my gosh, I think it's been 5 years now. I think we started in 2020. It's been 5 years since we've been doing Facebook Live. That is wild. Go back and watch those streams. We've got a lot of information on IHSS, but I would love to, of course, connect with you personally. And I know Teresa would as well. So feel free to connect with us. All right, everybody, we will wrap up. I think that's about it. I haven't received any comments from anybody else. We are got a little bit of a small crowd here at the end. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you stayed for the whole live, amazing. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Take a moment if you can to like or share the video stream, comment somebody, a friend or a support group. That also really just helps everything out. If you need help, don't be afraid to call us. Teresa said, Facebook is now disappearing our old lives. What? I didn't know that. How do we retrieve them? Some of those are really good. I actually will sometimes go back and watch some of the old ones to kind of just go through the comments and find some questions, things maybe we could talk about. And it's so funny watching how both me and Nicole and Dakota have evolved over time with how we do these lives. It's really cool. I'm curious to know why they're starting to take it away. If you have a favorite, download it. Teresa, thank you for that point. Let's save these old lives. Thank you, Estella. I will have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for the Mother's Day's wishes. I will let Myra know. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and happy Mother's Day as well. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Thank you, Kathina. I appreciate that. And thank you, Christy. We will save our most recent. Yes, let's save them all. All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in today, like you always do every Friday. We really appreciate all the amazing questions and the information you give us so that we can keep generating some topics for you. If you have anything specifically that you want us to talk about in the coming months, feel free to reach out to Teresa here on Facebook and let us know. We'd love to do some research on a topic and talk about it as much as we can. I don't know what our topic is in the next couple of weeks, but I know we always have some cool ones coming up. So stay tuned, okay? But thank you everybody so much for sticking around today. I hope all of you have a wonderful Friday. I hope you enjoy the sunshine. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.